Among all tuna species, the bluefin tuna that is caught in Norway is considered to be among the most commercially and ecologically valuable options. A species of tuna that is a member of the oceanic tuna group is being discussed here. The bluefin tuna in Norway is world famous for its exceptional strength, speedy swimming speed, and great nutritional content. Here are some of the most notable characteristics of this fish. The Thunus is its scientific name. When it comes to size, bluefin tuna can grow to be more than 3 meters in length and weigh more than 500 kilograms. Bluefin tuna, who are noted for their swimming speed, can reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. They are considered to be the king of ocean speed. In their natural habitat, bluefin tuna are most frequently found in the cold and deep waters of the North Atlantic Ocean, particularly in the region surrounding Norway. Within the realm of the fishing business, Norway is among the nations that utilize contemporary fishing techniques, such as trawls and longlines, to harvest bluefin tuna. The Norwegian bluefin tuna is a premium product that is mostly sent to Japan for the purpose of being used in sushi and sashimi, since it is regarded as a delicacy in that country. When it comes to value, a single bluefin tuna can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars when it is sold on the international market. In addition to their role as a regulator of smaller fish populations, bluefin tuna are an essential component of the food chain that exists in the ocean. On the other hand, because of excessive fishing, the species is maintained very carefully in accordance with stringent international laws in order to safeguard the fish population from the possibility of a decline. Season, which typically takes place during the months of August and October, is when tuna migrate across the waters of Norway. The method makes use of contemporary technologies to safeguard sustainable fishing practices and lessen the adverse effects on the environment. Bluefin tuna is not only a representation of the abundance that can be found in Norway's oceans, but it is also a demonstration of how economics and environmental preservation can coexist in a harmonious manner when it is managed appropriately. One of the most important activities in the ocean fishing industry is the use of huge modern vessels to catch bluefin tuna using purse netting fishing gear. A full explanation of the procedure, the technology, and the function of this approach is provided below. This method is particularly prevalent in nations such as Norway, Japan, and Spain. Large nets known as pernets are constructed with the purpose of encircling entire schools of bluefin tuna as they migrate in groups. The process involves searching for schools of tuna and utilizing technologies such as radar, sonar, and drones to identify schools that are moving. Once the location of a school of fish has been identified, pulling nets will be performed. The school will be surrounded by a ring-shaped net that will be dropped by fishing vessels. For the purpose of containing the school of fish inside a small area, the nets are pulled back and then hauled back again. In the following step, the fish are loaded aboard the vessel by means of contemporary pumping or crane machines. The fishing process is optimized by the presence of these vessels, which are outfitted with cutting-edge equipment and have the capacity to contain thousands of tons of fish. Constructed to endure the severe weather that can be seen in icy seas such as Norway. For the purpose of tracking and following fish schools, fish-finding technologies, multi-beam sonar, and GPS systems are utilized. Airborne surveillance is made possible by drones. In order to preserve fish as soon as they are caught, vessels are equipped with deep freeze compartments that are cooled to minus 60 degrees Celsius, upholding both quality and freshness throughout. Moreover, certain vessels are equipped with processing lines on board. The bluefin tuna business is subject to stringent management, and it is required to comply with the quotas and rules set forth by international organizations such as the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, ICCAT. In order to preserve the health of the breeding population, only mature tuna are fished. The use of technology helps to reduce the amount of bycatch. Tags are placed on fish from the time they are caught until they are exported. Bluefin tuna from the purse seine industry is a significant source for the high-end sushi and sashimi industries all over the world. This is because the purse seine industry is committed to ensuring transparency and legality. Employment. The industry is responsible for providing employment opportunities for thousands of workers in the industries of transportation, processing, and fishing jobs. Contribution to the economy, which includes the contribution of millions of dollars to the national economy each year through exports and industries associated with its exports. The habitat of tuna is being impacted by climate change. Environmental protection organizations are exerting pressure on fishing operations to cut their output. It is important to develop fishing models that are more sustainable, such as raising tuna in controlled surroundings, the utilization of artificial intelligence, and large amounts of data in order to improve the management of fishing and fish monitoring. Purse fishing for bluefin tuna on huge, sophisticated vessels not only brings in a significant amount of commercial value, but also necessitates the coordination of technical advancements and environmentally responsible management in order to safeguard ocean resources. One of the most important links in the value chain of the tuna business is the bluefin tuna processing sector and factories, contributing to the creation of high-quality products for domestic and international markets. With the help of cutting-edge technology, processing is carried out in order to guarantee maximum production, preserve quality, and fulfill the requirements for food safety. Once the bluefin tuna has been caught and frozen on board, it will be delivered to the processing plant for further processing. To determine the quality of high-end bluefin tuna, it is essential to evaluate the freshness of the fish, as well as its color and the amount of fat it contains. Fish that do not correspond to the requirements will either be thrown away or put to other uses, such as being used as fodder for animals. During the thawing process, the fish is placed in a room that has temperature and humidity levels that are closely controlled in order to maintain the structure of the meat. In order to get ready for the subsequent processing procedures, the head, viscera, and blood are removed during the cleaning phase. The loin, belly, and tail of bluefin tuna are some of the components that are cut from the fish, depending on the requirements of the product. It is possible to slice the fish meat in accordance with the rules for sushi and sashimi, or it can be processed into alternative forms such as whole frozen fish. Fillets or fish that have been canned. To extend the amount of time that products can be stored, certain factories employ vacuum technology and controlled atmosphere packaging. All of the products are wrapped in export standard packaging, and traceability tags are placed to the packaging to ensure that there is complete transparency. In cold storage, fish is kept at a temperature of -60 degrees Celsius to ensure that it remains fresh and to avoid the spread of bacteria. For the purpose of exporting fish to important markets such as Japan, the European Union, and the United States, transportation is done using refrigerated containers that are up to international standards. Automated cutting equipment, deboning machines, and packing devices all contribute to an increase in productivity, while also reducing the likelihood of human error. For the purpose of identifying product flaws, quality control systems, image, and sensor technology are utilized. The freezing technology known as individual quick freezing, IQF, makes it possible for each individual piece of fish to be frozen swiftly without sticking together. A traceability code is assigned to each batch of fish every step of the way, from the catching stage to the final product, making sure that the product satisfies the standards for both food safety and sustainability. Some of the components that go into making high-end sashimi are sushi, sashimi, the belly, torso, and the back, akami, produced frequently for export to Japan and restaurants with 5 stars. Frozen fillets that are shipped to higher-end supermarkets around the world or provided to such stores. Produced in an industrial setting, canned tuna. Olive oil and brine are common methods of preservation. Additionally, processed foods, smoked tuna, tuna patties, and tuna in pouches for convenience are also available. To a significant extent, the bluefin tuna processing business is responsible for generating revenue from exports, with particular emphasis on the markets in Japan, Europe, and the United States. These processing plants are responsible for the employment of thousands of local workers, between the direct workers and the operations. There are departments of quality control and management that are connected to sustainable fishing programs in order to safeguard tuna resources and the marine environment. There is intense rivalry from other countries that export goods, high expenditures associated with the storage and transportation of deep freeze. The Asian and North American markets are experiencing a growing demand for tuna products of a consistently high grade, increasing the level of sophistication of processing technologies in order to bolster both production and quality. The processing business for bluefin tuna not only generates exceptional economic value, but also makes a significant contribution to the growth of a seafood industry that is environmentally responsible, maintaining the position of exporting countries in the global supply chain. The industry that processes canned tuna in Norway is an essential component of the value chain utilized by the fish sector to satisfy the demand for tuna goods of superior quality all over the world. Norway is well known for its innovative use of modern technology, methods that are closed, and sticking to food safety requirements very meticulously throughout the production process. Immediately upon its capture and subsequent freezing, bluefin tuna is sent to the processing factory. Control of the quality. Prior to entering the processing line, it is important to evaluate the freshness, color, and safety standards of the meat. The fish that is produced in batches that do not satisfy the specifications will either be thrown away or used for other purposes. This is thawing. It is necessary to defrost tuna under carefully monitored circumstances in order to preserve the meat's texture and flavor over time. There is a removal of the head, viscera, and blood. After being defrosted, the fish meat is next sliced into parts in accordance with the canning specifications. In order to preserve the fish's flavor and eliminate any surplus natural oils, it is pre-steamed. Different types of fish meat, such as whole pieces, thread, or minced fish, are chopped into small cubes or strips, depending on the type of dish being prepared. The meat of fish is placed in cans made of food-grade aluminum or tin. Add additional components, such as olive oil, brine, tomato sauce, or spices that are unique to the dish. To eliminate microorganisms, the fish container is sealed and then subjected to a sterilization process that takes place at a high temperature. Enhance the shelf life of food while ensuring its safety. The act of labeling. Detailed information regarding the product's origin, ingredients, and instructions for usage are included on the labels of the products. Putting away. Before the products are shipped out to be exported, they are kept in cold storage or in cool settings, making use of an automated line from the level of pre-processing to the stage of packing. In addition to reducing the amount of human mistakes, helping to enhance production. In order to maintain a consistent level of product quality, the cutting machine, steamer, and canner all do their work simultaneously. Examination of the metal. Take precautions to ensure that the product does not include any metal fragments. These are quality sensors. Timely identification of errors, such as leakage from the can. Not enough of the ingredients. There are no lid errors. Using flash sterilization technology to keep the natural flavor of tuna while simultaneously reducing the amount of time needed for processing. In its whole, the tuna meat is whole, serves well in salads as well as in fast food. Strips of tuna, which are utilized in commonly prepared foods like sandwiches. Used as an ingredient in sauces and soups, pasta is a type of tuna that has been minced. A brined tuna dish, olive oil mixed with tuna, tomato sauce or hot pepper sauce incorporated into tuna, tuna that has been processed in a particularly Nordic manner. Due to the fact that it is a key export product to high-end markets like Japan, the canned tuna business makes a significant contribution to Norway's gross domestic product. There is the European Union and North America. The stringent processing methods and exceptional quality of Norwegian tuna have earned it a widespread reputation for excellence. Processing will result in the creation of thousands of new employees, plants that are being transported and exported, supply that is consistent, to prevent the depletion of resources through tuna fishing. The price is very high. There is an increase in production expenses due to modern preservation and transportation methods. An increasing number of people around the world are looking for canned tuna goods of superior quality. Explore the possibility of developing new items, such as organic tuna or tuna served in the manner of the regional cuisine. There is a tight adherence to international standards regarding sustainable fishing practices within the canned tuna sector in Norway, reducing the negative effects on the ecology and making sure that the traceability is apparent. Not only does the canned tuna sector in Norway contribute to the country's economy, but it also serves as a model for integrating contemporary technology and environmentally responsible management, with the goal of satisfying the ever-increasing demand of consumers all around the world. The preparation of tuna sashimi is a highly technical process that necessitates great attention to quality in order to produce a premium product that is in accordance with the culinary standards of Japan and other countries. A delicacy that is cherished all throughout the world is tuna sashimi, particularly when it is made from bluefin tuna. It is well known for having a flavorsome and smooth texture. It is the huge bluefin fish that are used to pick tuna. The flesh has a significant amount of fat. The belly, the torso, and the back, the akami in particular, safekeeping of it. The tuna is deep frozen at a temperature of -60 degrees Celsius once it has been caught in order to preserve its freshness and prevent the formation of bacteria. Under stringent storage conditions, the fish is transferred to the processing plant for further processing. In order to prevent the meat texture from being lost, the fish is allowed to slowly thaw in a chamber that is controlled by temperature. For the purpose of ensuring that each fish satisfies the requirements for sashimi, its color, gloss, and fat content are examined. Some of the components that do not fulfill the requirements for sashimi will be utilized for other processing reasons. In order to maintain the cleanliness and safety of the food supply, the head, organs, blood, and bones are removed. The tuna is chopped into enormous blocks, known as loins, and then classed according to the type of meat it contains. Otoro, often known as the belly, is a region that has a significant amount of fat, is fluffy and rich in fat. The chutoro, also known as the midbelly, refers to the middle portion of the back and the belly, a healthy equilibrium between sweetness and fat. A return to the red meat, aka akami, having a low fat content. A touch of sweetness. With the use of a specialist knife, the fish blocks are sliced into very tiny pieces, for the most part less than 1 centimeter, ensuring that the size and thickness are consistent throughout. It is necessary to employ deft cutting skills in order to prevent the fish meat texture from being broken. For the purpose of preserving its freshness, sashimi is wrapped in vacuum packaging. In order to keep the temperature of some products stable, they are either stored in ice boxes or placed on gel ice trays. For the purpose of preserving fish from the time it is caught until it is processed, deep freezing technique at -60 degrees Celsius is utilized, helping to maintain the quality of the meat. In order to identify flaws or imperfections in fish meat, image scanners and sensors are utilized. Using a QR or RFID coding system, one may trace the origin of the product from the harvest to the end user. In order to guarantee the safety of the food, the processing environment and the tools are sanitized using ultraviolet and ozone technologies. Food safety standards, such as HACCP and ISO 22000, are adhered to in a stringent manner throughout the entirety of the production process. It is essential that the fish keep its vibrant red color, its natural aroma, and a moderate amount of moisture. There is a high likelihood that Norwegian sashimi fish will satisfy the requirements of difficult markets such as Japan. Whole blocks of loin are exported from the European Union and North America to serve Japanese restaurants or to consumers who cook their own versions of the dish. Sashimi that has been thinly sliced and is prepackaged, making it appropriate for supermarkets and consumer markets. Premium pieces such as otoro and chutoro are considered to be expensive. As a rule, they are exclusively found in upscale dining establishments. In Japan, the largest market, tuna sashimi is considered to be a national dish on the Japanese menu. In both Europe and North America, there is an increasing demand for sashimi items of superior quality. There is no doubt that tuna sashimi is one of the most precious seafood items, and it brings in enormous profits for countries like Norway that produce it. When it comes to premium items such as otoro, the price per kilogram can reach up to hundreds of dollars. There are stringent laws in place in Norway regarding sustainable fishing, and the sashimi sector follows them, assuring that the wild tuna resources are not exhausted at any point. Utilizing technology that is beneficial to the environment and reducing waste during the processing of materials. Norway's tuna sashimi is not only well known for its exceptional quality, but it also exemplifies how the fish industry has incorporated cutting-edge technology, advanced processing methods, and a dedication to preserving the environment. This product is cherished all over the world and continues to play a significant part in the seafood export business in Norway. Immediately after being captured, Norwegian bluefin tuna is allowed to be stored at a temperature of -60 degrees Celsius, keeping the meat's inherent structure and taste intact while preserving it. It is common for bluefin tuna from Norway to have a high fat content, particularly during the migratory season in frigid seas. This contributes to the increased sensory pleasure that is experienced when sashimi is consumed. The cold water of the North Atlantic Ocean contributes to the development of well-developed muscles in Norwegian tuna, achieving a beef texture that is both hard and tender. In order to achieve the highest possible level of quality, processing plants in Norway adhere faithfully to traditional Japanese procedures while also incorporating cutting-edge technology. The fish is able to maintain its beauty and maintain a consistent size thanks to the meticulousness that is applied during the categorization and slicing stages. When it comes to the application of food safety rules in the fish business, Norway is among the leading countries in the world. The processing method for tuna sashimi is fully natural, does not include the use of any harmful preservatives, and satisfies the requirements of international standards. The combination of soy sauce, wasabi, and pickled ginger that is typically served with tuna sashimi results in a flavor profile that is a combination of sweet and fatty flavors with a hint of spice. The preparation of sushi. The okami and chutoro sections can be utilized in the preparation of temaki, maki rolls, and nigiri sushi. Slices of tuna should be combined with green veggies. A dish that is light and refreshing can be made using roasted sesame sauce or yuzu sauce. To maintain its natural flavor and freshness, tuna sashimi is stored in the refrigerator before being served. In order to have the complete flavor experience, you should eat thin slices and combine them with the spices that are listed. Temperature increases in the ocean could have an impact on the habitat of bluefin tuna. Additionally, sashimi processing companies have been formed in Japan, Spain, and a few other Asian countries. Norway is being put under pressure from its competitors. Costs of operation that are high, the costs of production are increased by technologies such as deep freezing and transportation. It has an impact on product prices. A growing number of people, particularly in Asia and North America, are showing an interest in sashimi of superior quality. It is possible for Norway to concentrate on premium markets, such as otoro sashimi. Restaurants and other high-end clients are the target audience. Promotion of the brand.